Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Frozen Frontier. Yarmir's built a snowman.
Yep.
Y'all have been training. A couple of weeks have passed through this whole snowman training building experience. Is there anything else you guys really wanted to get to?
The one thing I want to do,
like,
I want
the day after I build the snowman, like I think I'm just like taking off.
You're just gonna take off
for, like, a little while.
Okay.
Still gotta complete,
okay.
right?
Yeah, you can cruise around and practice with your snowman.
I was actually going to suggest to Yarmir that he has the snowman try to attack me. I want to see what it's capable of.
Oh, when I come down the next morning, right? I think this is important, right? Like the snowman's like slowed down, right, and like barely kind of like moving compared to what it was the day before. And so like I come down and kind of redo, like I get that brush out and I kind of like remake and expend like the magical energy of hypnotic pattern back into it, and as I do that, if anyone's watching, it kind of slowly revs back up and continues moving.
Okay.
And upon doing that, I think I just like grab like 10 pounds of rations and just like a stick or two of firewood. And then I put the stick or two of firewood back and I'm like, I'm too weak. I just like climb up on like the second ball or the third ball and I just like command it. I'm just like, this way. And like just like let it carry me off into the forest.
Give me a dexterity check first off.
Sure. Yeah. Because that's not an easy climb.
What did the dogs think of the... Oh, you don't even...
Yarmir, you climb up this thing, you tell it to move, and it like moves out from underneath you, and you just like fall backwards into the snow. You don't have a snowman riding proficiency yet, but that's something you can get.
Probably going to be a long day of falling into the snow.
Yeah, eventually you'll get the hang of it. Let's give you some practice over the next few days.
But for now, you pick yourself off and walk alongside the snowman.
Or try it again, I don't know.
Or climb back on and ride again.
I think I'm a stubborn son of a bitch. I will probably just keep doing that for a while.
All right, so this is how we're going
Get my snow legs underneath me.
Every day you want to ride the snowman, I'll ask you to make a dex check. And once you have passed 3, we'll say that you've gotten the hang of it and you can ride it without any penalties from then on out.
Okay. So I'm gonna just take off into like this kind of forest area down here, and I'm just gonna like
By yourself?
What?
Yep. These guys seem to have their stuff like under.
We won't. I mean, if you sneak out in the night, that's one thing. But I'm not just gonna let you go without explanation about where you're going.
He might. I mean, he said it was like first thing in the morning. He went to bed pretty early yesterday. He probably woke up before us. Like I was gonna suggest he do a few tests, but he's probably gone before I had the chance.
I don't think there's anything. You let Grimes go out without explanation, and he's a convict.
Yeah, but I usually tell you to do it.
I'm keeping the land trapped. And when Neal asked if we had anything more to say, I didn't want to say that Grimes has been using the skis in this. We don't need to roleplay that or anything. But,
okay, but you're practicing the skis, yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty usual for Grimes to like take the skis and like
but
without saying anything. So
I think I trust you more to be on your own in the wilderness than I do Yarmir. I mean, Greg, if you go like without any fanfare in the night or early morning when
I'm not really going in the night. I'm just like waking up that morning, right?
I mean,
so like, it's your call what you do in the morning.
He's going out to, 100 yards out into the woods to do his business or play with his new toy.
Yeah, but you're going out for days. You made out, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you purposely not tell us?
I'm not. I think that Yarmir's a little like just irritated with William and like the whole like, oh, we gotta go get gold, and then like, oh, Ferris has to stay and get gold, or the expedition will end, and he's just like, I'm just gonna go fuck off and do my thing for a little bit here, and then he'll come back. He's feeling a little independent.
I feel like I get the impression Yarmir like rides the snowman out the front gate, and you guys like, I wonder where he's going, and then he just like disappears. He just like doesn't turn around and come back. He doesn't say anything, but it doesn't necessarily look like he's leaving. He just kind of goes.
And I think it's probably a couple hours before we even notice.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I don't.
I think I probably leave to go check traps, and I think I'm doing that more quickly now with skis, right? So I've got like a circumference of 24 traps of, I guess they're all probably half tripwires, half little snares.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll go and I'll check those, and I'll ski around, and it's probably a couple hours before we realize that Yarmir.
Yeah, and like on William and our end, he's watching Yarmir right out the gate, and Ferris is like, "Hey, William, pay attention." Kind of like snaps him back into focus.
And you guys
on the
are
drills that
training.
we're running. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It might even be like that night when we realize Yarmir hasn't come back.
Yeah, because I mean he's left for like multiple hours. Like he left all day yesterday to make that snowman, and then came back like in the evening. So we're probably used to this idea.
I think if he isn't back tomorrow though, and he hasn't said he's going,
if he doesn't come back tonight, I think Ferris will be a little bit more worried. But I don't think we
have to go looking for him.
Yeah, but I don't think Ferris is too worried at the present moment.
Okay.
It's Yarmir. He wanders off. He doesn't. Like we just kind of got used to it.
Yeah, well, he's never wandered off for a whole night before.
Well, yeah, but he's just leaving now. Like if he doesn't come back by nightfall,
let's find out if he comes back by nightfall or not first.
We'll see what happens.
So Yarmir, it's a bit of a trek to get down over there. How?
So I go for a while, and I just begin like telling my goal and start doing things, right? And I'm trying to get a feel for what it can and can't do. So the first thing I have it try to like carry me for a while, and then like I try to get it to like break down a tree for me. I want to see if it'll just like shatter this tree and turn it into firewood for me. Like first I want to see if it'll knock it down, and then I want to see if it'll break it up, if it'll pick it up. Like
so you tell it to attack the tree, and the bottom, you've got these 3 roughly even-sized balls, right? And they all kind of like shrink, and you feel yourself lowering down as protrusions come out of the bottom ball and ripple up to the middle one, and then lash out from either side, smashing either side of the tree, sending snow flying everywhere, and then like recoiling. And the tree looks, like something heavy hit it, but it's definitely not shattered.
Okay, cool. That seems cool. I guess I work in concert with it, right, to try to get a gauge for its strength, right? And like I'll spend some time breaking this tree down and turn it into like firewood, and I'm gonna try to tell it to carry the firewood for me.
Okay, the tree does not do a very the snowman does not do a very good tree. Let's try this a third time. The snowman does not do a very good job of breaking down the tree. But it does seem to sort of be able to carry things, not in like the way that you might carry them, but like you can like stick it in the snowman and then it'll just like move with it, or the snowman will kind of like be in front of it and just push it along the ground with it. So it can move things, but not in like a regular way of moving them.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool. So I have it move along those with me for a while, and then I want to see. If it can see, right? So I tell it to. I basically tend to tell it to like stand still and block like the green thing, like attack the green thing that comes near it. And I'd get some like bark that's like brown or whatever, and I get some like pine needles and stuff, and like I'll get them in like a little ball, or I'll find like a pine cone and stuff some needles in it so it's green or whatever, and I'll start throwing those at it to see if it can differentiate or reason and or see.
It does not respond to commands to green.
Okay, cool. Let's see, what else do I want to know if it can do? I want to see if it can climb a tree.
No.
We'll walk for a ways, and I'll command it to see if it'll climb up a tree.
It kind of just like squishes itself against the tree and elongates up it, and it gets maybe like 12 or 15 feet, and now it's just like a snow-covered tree.
Okay, that's awesome. Is it cold? Is it like freezing cold to the touch?
Yeah, it's snow.
Okay, cool. It's constantly moving too, which is interesting. when it like hit the tree and snow flew everywhere, did it like come apart in pieces?
Yeah, it did sort of like scatter and like little snowflakes and everything fell everywhere.
So does it have like obvious like pox or something in the snow, like it lost some of itself?
Not yet. There's a lot of it. So if it loses, like, you know, when things scatter around, it's like
I'm wondering if it can like
%.
repair itself, right? So I'm wondering if I can like put ice on it. So maybe what I'll do is I'll purposefully like remove some of it, right? So there's an indentation, and then I'll have it move a ways, and then I'll see if I can put different snow in to like, and if it'll like accept that and like incorporate it.
Yeah, like you shove snow on top of it, and it seems to just kind of stick to it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool if you could heal it like that.
It like whirls around and like kind of like reforms its ball a little bit.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to tell whether it's actually losing snow and gaining snow, or if like there's just effects of snow scattering and then like it absorbs what it needs from the ground. It's very unclear how this works.
Cool. Okay. So that's neat. I need to spend some time getting ready to like live a night here. This is also part of the study here is like, can I actually survive on my own a little bit? So I am gonna like chop up a lot of trees and get them ready to go, and have him like help if possible, because I'm pretty freaking weak, and move all that around. And then I'm gonna see if he can bend the trees, like rather than attack. I want to see like a feat of strength. I want to see if he can like force the trees into like positions, right? Like bend them into like a little covering, maybe like a canopy.
Yeah, it can bend some branches.
I'll start with branches of like smaller thickness, and then like get bigger and bigger and bigger until like see where it like can't or like isn't capable of doing it in this state.
Okay. So it doesn't form a proper shelter. It can just kind of like interact with things. It's like, bend this branch, and then it goes to bend that branch and lets go of this first one. And it seems to like focus on a single action at a time, and it can't like multitask.
Cool. Yeah, but if I can break them, right? I'm not telling it to make me a shelter. I'm telling it to break a bunch of branches.
Yeah, it can.
Like,
it does what it can.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Can it project something over a distance?
No.
Like, it has the ability to shoot those like projectile like appendages that are gonna attack the tree. If I line up some of the wood we've chopped, and then I tell it to punch the wood as far as it can, will it like shoot the wood real far?
No, it does not have a projectile attack.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I think I spend some time with it, and I'm gonna try to just like create a big pile of wood. I'm gonna create just like a freaking bonfire, and I might form like a canopy. I'm gonna make it like break down the branches of the trees some like miles off from the fort to create kind of like a covering. So like I'm encased by away from wind and potential ice coming from the sky. It'll just like shatter the trees, and I'll put them where they need to be if need be, or I'll order it to like move them for me.
Okay. Are you spending the night out here?
Yeah, that's the plan.
Do you have a shelter that can reduce the coldness from outside? Or are you just gonna like slowly freeze to death over the course of the night?
Yeah, I have a winter blanket, and I have a big ass fire.
Okay.
On that note, when it can you let me know when it's like rolling around to evening time, like much later than we would expect?
Sure,
to be back
right about now. That's okay. Where we are.
So first up, I want to make a survival check and see what the weather's turning toward.
Okay.
So let's see if I can read the weather here. So it's 12. That's a pass for sure.
And you know, it's a calm day today, and it's going to be a calm day tomorrow.
Okay, so it's not too bad.
Right.
But it's getting late, and I think I'm gonna head down to William and say, Yarmir might have gotten himself into some trouble out there. I haven't seen him all day.
Yeah. No, don't worry. It's not like him to go wandering off like this. If he's not back by tomorrow, we're gonna have to go look for him, you know.
Maybe even tonight. Do we think he'll survive out there on his own?
Yeah, I don't think we should.
Did he take a hatchet with him?
Well, can you? Only if you can find.
I've still got my hatchet. Do you?
William, do you have your axe?
Yeah, I've got the axe.
What did you say the weather was?
Calm.
It's calm.
It's calm. So
The weather's as good as it could possibly be. Yes, I
you-
don't think he'd freeze to death overnight. But
Actually, if he, yeah.
do we
Can you
really want
find-
to leave that up to chance?
Can you find his tracks, Faris?
Let me go look, and I'm gonna head out and see if I can.
Unfortunately,
it's a calm
Yaromir
day,
has
right?
left no tracks because he's riding a snow elemental.
Does the thing like leave a little like trail as
No.
it does it? Okay, so it's just it doesn't leave any tracks whatsoever.
It's a snow. No, not really.
Ooh,
Not
that's
that you
cool.
can distinguish between anything else.
It's
Okay.
pretty big, right? Could 4 people feasibly like sit
No.
on the middle ball and
No.
like one on each side of it?
No.
It's like supposed to be 1.5 times my size.
Oh, okay. I was imagining more like 8 feet,
No. It's just
So-
a big
like a big
snowman.
girth.
Okay.
We can't go looking for him in the night. We don't know where he's gone.
If
I can't follow his tracks at all. He rode that snowman out of here. There's no footprints, and Ferris kind of like points out.
The hell is he up to?
I know what direction he went, but aside from that, it's literally just go in that direction, and I hope we find him
I'm not
tonight.
walking. I'm not walking out there at night in a random direction. We'll head out in the morning.
Sure. You do realize that if he's fallen into trouble, he will freeze to death overnight if he can't build himself a shelter.
How are we meant to find him in the dark?
We're not.
So, are we just putting ourselves at risk?
All I'm saying is, no matter what we do at this point, it's a risk. If we wait overnight, there's a decent chance Yaromir is dead. He may even be dead already. And if we go out, we put ourselves at risk. It's your call, William.
We go in the morning.
Okay. The next
Okay.
morning, that night. So you would take.
So let me do some shit here. So
Yeah.
we're going to.
I pulled up my incomprehensible document. As
I
long as
looked
it
at
stays
it,
calm, you should.
I would take a look at
With
it.
a
but
campfire in the calm, you can regenerate.
Your document is incomprehensible to me as well. So.
He's got a winter blanket too.
This
so.
was my plan. This is the extent of my plan. I'm gonna have this thing wreck some fucking trees for me. All right.
It wrecks some branches.
And I have big old branches, and then I have lots of little things, like lots of them. And I have hours at my disposal, right? We haven't adventured a whole day. Like it's been walking, I've been doing things, but I begin using multiple bind spells to tie these long thin branches together like rope. If I need to do it by hand, I will. Then I'll magically tell them to bind these larger branches together and like forcibly put them into like some like kind of cone like shape around me, and make that so that I have some protection from a wind or snow falling from the sky. And inside of that, I'm going to build a big old fire. And I'm going to build the fire kind of towards the outside of it, like towards the edge of it. And I'm going to use fire flow to spread the fire over the ice, and so as it doesn't need material components, and it can go for a while like that, to try to keep me warm while that lasts. It doesn't need fuel.
Okay, that'll last for 5 minutes.
Great.
So you
but yeah.
spread the fire across the ice, and you can see the flames slowly dropping lower and lower as the ice below it melts.
That's okay. That's cool.
That's fine.
But I do that, and I just keep this fire going with the firewood for a night in this little kind of like makeshift shelter. And I've memorized a lot of burning touches, so if I get too low, I can just start burning myself.
Well, your shelter provides no protection from the elements, no significant protection from the elements. There's enough pockets that air can freely pass through, and the convection from the fire is kind of helping to push that air around and move a bit. But, with the fire sitting next to it, you can regain a little bit of warmth, and it's the warmest it can possibly be in Caledonia, so you actually make it through the night.
You should regain 1 point an hour, so you're probably still down when you wake up in the morning, but I don't think you're at risk of dying from exposure unless the weather turns.
Cool. And then I set about relearning a whole bunch of different spells for the day.
How many days are you going to spend out here?
I took about 10 pounds of rations, but I'm probably gonna not survive 5 days out here.
Okay.
This is more like experimenting. Yaramir's doing science.
Sure. All right, so the next day, the party is going to set out looking for Yaramir, just kind of cruising through the woods, calling for him at random.
I think
We go the direction that Faris said he went.
I know what way he left. I just don't know where he went from there.
We go out calling for him. And
I think I would unencumber myself, hop on a pair of skis, and cover as much ground as possible. Probably shouting for Yaramir and like spiraling out from Saltport.
And I think William's getting more and more furious as we walk aimlessly in the woods. Right, this is just. I mean, I obviously out of character. I see why Greg's doing it, but from William's point of view, it's just a complete waste of time, and he's just endangering the whole operation.
Okay, I'm gonna make some rolls for you guys to see if you can find it.
Randomly happen upon him.
Yep.
Neal, who's got the dogs with them?
William.
William. Okay.
I imagine, like, William's the guy who says I like dogs.
Yeah.
He's got animal handling.
All right, well, a day passes, and there's no sign of Yaramir, and you guys can reconvene at the fort at the end of the day, having not found him, and he having not heard you calling for him.
I want to make another survival check here and see what the weather's going to be like. That's also a pass.
Not so good, man.
So the weather looks like it's turning sour. Is it like a blizzard or moderate?
Moderate.
What are we moderate? Okay.
Yeah.
Did he say anything to either of you before we left?
I was talking.
He just left. I mean, I think he said a word, but I believe that was to his snowman because it started moving right after.
Maybe he doesn't need us now that he's got a snowman.
Well, we didn't find his body, and it's too calm out here for him to have been buried in the snow. I don't think it would have piled up on him overnight.
Well, Yaramir,
I don't know. Unless he got a fire lit, he would have froze to death.
It's a good point. Maybe we should keep an eye out for a fire tonight. Get high up in the tower.
Sure, look for smoke.
Fire.
Look, it's turning bad out here. If we see a fire, we need to go out tonight, William. If we see a smoke trail that we can follow, we need to go tonight.
Okay.
I can see in the dark. I can lead us. We're not going to be stumbling over our own feet as long as I guide us.
If it's in range, yeah, we should go.
So next experiment, I want to start melting water.
Sure.
And pouring it over the top of the shelter, and seeing if it will freeze in like an ice, just like to seal up all the holes and stuff that are left by the branches.
Do you have a pot or something in which to melt water?
If I need to, I can pour out one of my bottles, my wine bottles.
Okay, so you pour out a wine bottle.
I won't pour out the one with the human guts. I want to keep that one.
Okay.
So
then
I'll
you
pour out the one.
Stuff it with as much snow as possible, and then like heat it, and then dump it, and then like put more snow in there and heat it and dump it. That's going to be an all-day process to try and build something.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. I make sure to keep my golem running, expend my slot there. And then I have it just do the same thing it did yesterday where it broke up all the wood for me to use as fire.
Sure.
And I try to create like a frozen covering around the thing to see if it will protect from wind and snow, kind of like an igloo.
Very slowly you manage to do this. It's going to take you the whole day with your one wine bottle to actually build yourself some sort of like icy covering around this, what sounds to me like a rudimentary teepee. Kind of like a bunch of branches leaned against each other.
Yeah, like I'm building like a stick igloo with ice instead of snow because I'm not very strong.
Yeah. So you build your teepee and then you cover it with ice, and it takes all day, but it gets done.
Awesome. Then that sounds good. It takes all day. I guess I set up the fire again that night. I'm gonna try to use some detect magics just to look around at the field, see if it's grown stronger, if the amplitude's changed. Maybe we're closer to the second field that's kind of interrupted.
Okay. Let's see. You know, there is no perceptive change in the amplitude or the frequency of the field here. And I take you're still saving a hypnotic pattern every day for the snowmen?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Yeah. the day rolls to an end.
So as it's starting to turn dark, before the sun fully sets, Ferris is going to get up on the walls and start like going around the walls of this keep and like constantly just looking out for smoke. Because if Yarmir's alive, he needs to build a fire at some point, right? And the fire needs to be able to go up to the sky, otherwise he's going to choke to death. Right, because like if he has if he's in like a completely concealed cover, it's
right. So the smoke has to escape somewhere.
Yeah, it has to escape. So I'm gonna look out for a smoke trail, and as soon as I see something, I'm gonna shout to William.
All right, well, give me a perception check.
All right.
We'll see how it is.
Yep. And maybe while this is happening, Ferris maybe asked William to like build fires along the corners of the walls so that I don't like freeze while I'm up there. And if we do find his thing, I can like actually run out and chase after him.
All right,
Okay. I have better warmth than everyone else, but you know, it's still important that we can stay warm. So plus 14, 19, that's a fail.
You know, as the evening comes, some winds begin to whip up. Snow begins to flurry, and your visibility gets reduced to far less than a mile.
So
and
Neal,
you lose all hope of catching sight of anything he does.
I have bad perception, and I'm not up there the whole time. So I would argue, can I make a roll at disadvantage? I'm not going to pass, but because I'm there for a little bit, I'm like, I guess
the winds are picking up, and the snow is fluttering past, reducing visibility. So even if you rolled an at 20, you could only see things within a mile, and Yarmir
and
is
it might
well
be
beyond
like
the
I know
mile.
my infravision technically only goes to 60 feet, but it might help with like snow way off on the smoke way off on the horizon during the evening. Like I probably have better vision in the evening than anyone.
So I will back that statement, but he's gone.
Yeah, and I can't find anything. So
what the hell's going on? There's no fire. He must be dead.
It's possible. Well, no, because I mean I can't see anything, but I can't see more than half a mile. Maybe look at this wind.
If he comes back here, I'm gonna kick his fucking ass.
I don't blame you.
What day is it? How long till Saz gets here?
Today was the 9th of May.
We're expecting our middle of the month, I believe, so we have a little under a week.
21st, I think.
Grimes, you're about to say something?
No.
Okay.
I'm fine.
All right.
I don't know.
Well,
he might be dead. It's possible he could be alive.
So,
but...
mechanical question: when do you change over the weather? So
around midnight.
Completely out of character, but you consider midnight when you would switch from one day to the next because you'd redetermine weather every day. Okay.
Yeah.
So
if he's built a fire in the evening, he'll be gaining warmth back over time in his little like igloo thing.
Yeah, but then at midnight, as soon as
it protects him from the winds now, right? Sort of. It's probably like a makeshift tent. Probably not as good as a fur tent.
The igloo is actually the same strength as a fur tent. It blocks
as a fur tent or as a cloth tent.
As a fur tent.
He makes an igloo in a day, and that is the equivalent to a fur tent.
I mean, it takes a full day. Yeah, it blocks all wind, but it's still cold, and cold seeps through it very easily. It can't be warmed up from the inside, so it's basically like a fur tent, right? Fur tent is freezing, but it blocks all wind. A cloth tent will let a little bit through here and there. So that's a reduction of 2 cold points. And it's only 1 outside right now. And he's got the fire inside, so and it's
at
chill.
Night. Does it drain more warm, or do you just do it by weather?
We just do it by weather, yeah.
Okay. So it's 2 an hour.
He can build fires, no problem. Like I have fire building, and I've just kind of been glossing over that. But he's fine, right? He can still build fires on his own.
Can you build fires? Yeah.
Yeah. So fire building is for
specifically fire spells memorized for this purpose.
Okay. Fire building is basically for being able to contain fires in like terrible conditions. Like if you're in really bad weather and you need to like build fire using wet logs.
I have magic fire.
Okay. Then you should be fine.
Well, around midnight you get woken up, Yarmir, because the winds are whipping and howling, and that little like front door of yours that you can still walk out of doesn't have much in the way of protection, and the winds are bringing in the cold air, and your little fire is burning.
Can I command my golem to like plug the door?
Sure, but then you can't have a fire inside.
Interesting.
We managed to vent the tent somehow, right? We got like a flap in the roof.
A tent, yeah, but
Or is it?
That might work, but if you
I
have
probably
a
do this. I
you
probably
have a
do
fire
this,
inside an
and I
igloo,
realize
it'll
rather
just melt
quickly,
on
like,
you.
Moke is filling up the igloo rather quickly. I'm like, this is a bad idea. So I order the golem to like step like just like a touch out to like allow the smoke to get out, but try to block the majority of the wind. Like basically just like be a bulwark in front of there. Some wind will get in, but like we'll see what we can do to mitigate it.
Sure, let's make a little doodle over here. From a top-down perspective, you've got like a snow teepee igloo-y looking thingy, right?
Yeah.
And you've got some sort of doorway. Where's your how do you position your fire? Because you don't want if the fire is too close to the igloo, it'll just melt the igloo from the inside. So how do you get the warmth from the fire without destroying your shelter?
I described it as putting it close to the door with the first night, so I probably
Right.
haven't changed that. Right? It probably is just like sitting near the like opening of it.
Okay. All right. Well, so here's our little fire over here.
Maybe that's what I command my golem to do, is just like create a bulwark around the fire to make sure it doesn't go out.
Okay. So you've got a fire going, and you get I'll do it in gray so it'll actually show up. And your snowman sort of like changes shape and creates like a horseshoe almost in front of the fire. But this fire is going to provide not a lot in the way of warmth here.
Okay.
It's awkward because we're already at the minimum warmth it can provide. No, wait, we have fire can provide 3 warmth points, right? So I'm going to say this one will provide 1 because it's outside and it'll blow in some warm air, but it's not doing a lot.
Sure.
And
Okay.
yeah. So you spend a night kind of in shitty weather, not gaining any warmth, not really losing any warmth. You lost 12 over the course of the day, and then you gained 6 back. So you should be like down 6 points of warmth right now.
Okay.
And the night passes with the winds blowing and you waking up every, 20 or 30 minutes to toss on another piece of fire.
Yeah, it's
and
probably
then,
not very, very good sleep.
yeah, so you pass the most miserable night of your life in the freezing snow with just like a blanket and an igloo and a
Yeah.
fire and no sleep. Or minimal sleep.
Okay. Cool. Another day of rations.
You wake up, it's the next day, the snows are falling, the winds are blowing, it's moderate weather and it's miserable.
Yeah.
Moderate, not
It
light.
seems that like
Moderate.
I've probably run out of good resources here. I've done the experiment that matters to me. I think it's time to go back to the tower.
Okay.
So
We never
do we
really
s-
determined how far you left on your snowman on that first day, but it sounded
Sure.
like you were pushing out.
Yeah, we were walking and doing things as we went for sure.
Okay.
He does have direction sense and a compass and a map.
does.
So yeah.
That's right, you've got your compass with you, yeah?
Yep.
Okay. So, give me a d6 plus 3 for the moderate weather and how far your snowman can move. I'll adjust
Sure.
yeah.
What is its
Okay.
movement rate? Does it seem like it moves like a normal person speed-wise, or?
No, well, it moves faster than you do, generally
Oh, wow.
speaking. Yeah. Okay. So 7 miles, and you guys are about adjusted. You're about 6 miles out. So
Can he travel the whole day though? If he only gained, he was down 6 after a night of sleep,
I have 15 warmth points. No,
and it's minus
I have 16
3
warmth
per
points
hour.
part of
in
the day.
Madrid?
So he is basically going to be traveling for about 8 hours to get back to the fort.
Okay.
Little less than, let's call it 7 hours. And you will be losing 3 warmth points an hour.
So he won't die, but he's going to be dipping into his con to
I'll
make it back.
have Burning Touch memorized from the previous day, so if I get down to 1 or 2, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay, so you start at 21 minus 6, so you started that day at 15. So after...
I started at 22 minus 6.
Oh,
On my
okay.
dates.
I have old warmth points for you marked then.
I have
Cool.
I have 11 base, 5 from level, 4 from my robe, and 2 from my boots.
That must be what it is. You leveled and I didn't update it. Sweet. So you have 16 at the start of the day. 4 hours pass, and it brings you down to 4 warmth points, and the fort is nowhere in sight. You know you must be getting close, but
I just trace out the flame on the palm of my hand and ignite it, and I'll casually give myself a little burn.
roll me warmth and damage.
For 3 more warmth points. I can do this how many times? The number of rounds is quite high. I have to look at my spells. 3 rounds plus 1 per level, so I can do this 8 times if I wanted to.
With 1 casting?
Yep.
Okay.
Assuming 1 attack per round.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's 5 more points. There's 9 more points. There's 12.
You take damage from this, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm keeping track. Let's do, just for good measure. There's 13.
All right, so you take 13 points of damage, gain 13 points of warmth. You're up at 17.
Yep.
And then you pass another 3 hours, which is another 9 warmth points. And as the sun is going down, which you can't see, but the sky is just getting darker around you, the tower comes into view. You can see like some burning things up on the walls where the party has left lights, hoping that you'll find it and they get home. And you can make it back to the fort.
This is a city. This is Saltport.
This is Saltport,
Yes.
but the fort is
You're
outside of
staying in like
Saltport
a
town.
keep or something.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
keep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So maybe Faris and I are trading when you come back.
Yeah.
So maybe Grimes, you see him
Grimes
walking
might be up on the wall.
I'm
Yeah.
probably out scouting.
Maybe.
I
Yeah. So maybe
do
Yarmir
that.
just like rolls in through the gate by the time somebody notices him.
I think so. And he's a little chilled. He's got icicles dripping from him all over the place, and he's got like burn marks on his body. But, he's Yaromir. He's perpetually happy, even in awkward and dangerous, uncomfortable situations. So here he is.
Are you being carried by the snowman?
Yeah, I'm like trying to ride it. I might fall off every now and then, but I'm trying to ride it.
Oh, weren't you gonna have him make checks for that?
Give me.
Shouldn't
you
he be doing that
spent-
for the past couple of days?
Give me another
Yeah.
2 dex checks.
All right. Yeah, let's do it. Oh,
That's a
yeah. There's
pass.
1.
That's a
No.
fail. All right, so you've got 1 out of 3 successes on your snowman.
Yeah.
So I've just finished. Like Grimes says something like, "Oh, Yaromir, we hear him coming out the window," and so I break from trading
The
and I walk.
dogs start barking.
Yeah, maybe. I walk out the door. I'm carrying my wooden sword because I've been training with Faris, and I'm like quick marching towards Yaromir as he's being carried by this like snowman thing, and I throw the wooden sword down as I get next to him, and I I don't know if the snowman attacks me, but I go to grab you and just like throw you off it like onto the snow.
Snowman does
Okay.
nothing.
Yeah, no, you succeed in hoisting my like 0-pound body around like
Where the fuck did you go? We almost went out there looking for you in the night.
Fresh trees. I couldn't find them though. Seems to have moved.
Look, don't leave without telling us. We could have killed ourselves out there looking for you. We had no idea where you were.
Well, you were fine. You were training.
It's not. I think I just like storm off, leaving him in the snow, back into the. And then I shout, "Faris, get back here!"
Yeah, so I think Ferris just kind of like waits for a few seconds. There's like a little bit of an awkward silence to him, and Yarmir says, "Yaromir, you idiot. Aren't you supposed to be the smart one in this party?"
I do not see how this applies.
You could have died out there. You're lucky the weather was
You
fairly
could have died
amenable.
here.
This is much safer.
We all take risks. It's fine. It's totally fine. We have no plans. I had my own things to do.
It's
Ferris
late.
just kind of like sighs and shakes his head and goes back in to train with William.
It's late. Everyone's getting ready to settle in for bed by the time Yaromir arrives. And, the next day is a blizzard. So thank God you got back in time, because that would have been your literal death right there.
Before we roll into that, I think
Yeah.
during the training that William and Ferris are going through, we have a conversation about Yaromir.
Oh, please, let's hear
William,
it.
I know you don't typically exert your authority too often, but don't you think it might be about time you did so?
I'm worried about him. He thinks he forgets who's in charge. Maybe you're right. But try and give a wide berth. You know, you, him, you chose to come here. You've got your own agendas, your own things you want to do. But I can't be putting the rest of us at risk just because he's out there stroking his own ego or whatever it is he's doing.
Either way, I think you should do something. I don't think him wandering off without our knowledge is... Like, him going away for a day is one thing, but being gone all night is dangerous.
It's more than dangerous. It endangered us. You're right. He thinks he knows better than me. He thinks he knows better than all of us. He's dangerous.
Do whatever you think is best, but do something.
Well, the next day...
and William, I'm sorry for my comment about your wife. That was cruel of me. I should have held my tongue.
My angry face fades. Thanks, Ferris.
Yeah, I think Ferris kind of like stumbles over the words to sorry at first, and he kind of like it's like a weird thing coming out of his mouth, like he's never said it before in his life, but it comes out.
It's nice of you to say that. I'd like grab you around the arm and say, I think we've bonded these last few weeks.
I don't see how we couldn't.
How am I getting on with Ferris training me?
Dude, you have the worst luck, man. I'm not trying to screw you over. I'm just doing the mechanics I've built in, and it's not looking great. And I'm sorry.
So what is it? Is it getting like worse over time? It's not just a case of
No, it's not like you're
chance every
losing. Well, don't worry about it. It's just it's
Yeah,
slow going.
I think the impression that I'm getting because I'm like training, I'm trying to run him through like drills and everything. I think the impression I'm getting is that like William is an old man who's kind of set in his ways a little bit, and he's trying to like break down some misconceptions that he's kind of built in. He does a few wrong things in combat, and I'm having a very hard time like breaking him out of those bad habits that he's built. Mm-hmm. It's like training old people is much harder than training like kids to do something, right? Because kids are much more willing to like listen to you and change the way they do things, whereas it's much harder to change people like later on in their careers.
Yeah.
I'm teaching an old dog new tricks, and that's not easy.
I think a lot of it comes from William's sense of honorable fighting, and you know, you might be off balance for a moment in a weird way, and William's and like, it wouldn't be honorable to kill him at this moment, you know. And so, I think a lot of it comes from his concepts of the proper way to fight someone, and not taking advantage of all of every little thing that's going
opportunity.
On. Yeah.
Right. Just fine for a specialist, but if you're going to be a master, right, you should be able to use every aspect of the sword.
Every single aspect, right? Okay.
I'm telling you, and get some lessons from Grimes. I'm sure.
Yeah, maybe you can fill in that last thing I'm probably struggling with. I struggle to sleep tonight.
All right. The blizzard comes. It's only a day, and it blows out pretty quickly. I think the blizzard's maybe a welcome rest because you guys have all been training for so long, and Yaromir's out exploring and is a little burned up, and Grimes has been practicing these skis.
Right?
Yeah. Well,
we're all cooped up together, or is the keep large enough that we can?
The keep is big enough that you can get some space from one another and walk the long, empty halls.
During the blizzard's a perfect time to spend extra spells, so I begin experimenting with my golem, trying to see if I can give it other attributes, by expending other spells into it. So like I every morning I'm putting my hypnotic pattern into it, but this morning when I see the blizzard rolling in and we're just sitting around, I start working with earthen grasp, and I want to see if I can make it grab things. Maybe. And so I spend like the hours of that day meticulously putting in the symbol of earthen grasp and seeing if I can imbue it with that ability to grab things.
No, it doesn't seem capable with that spell alone of picking things up or manipulating them in any other way.
Cool.
So I want to go and speak to Yaramir at some point today. Maybe I interrupt you fiddling with your snowman.
Sure, yeah.
And I say, Yaramir, can we have a word, please?
Sure.
And I look to I look to the golem and say, in private?
I don't actually think Cat can hear you. Not yet.
Cat.
I cannot prove it, but maybe.
Doesn't look much like a cat.
Not yet.
Look, I'm not sure what your agenda is, and I know that you don't owe the crown anything. You're here for your own reasons, but there's a line of command for a reason, and you can't just go wandering out without telling us where you're going.
It was fine. You had plans to wait here. I knew where you were doing and what was going on.
It's not fine, though. It doesn't cost you anything to tell me what you're doing.
Sure. I am experimenting.
What, experimenting with getting yourself frozen to death out in the snow on your own? Experimenting with having guys chase after you and dying as well?
You clearly did not chase after me, and you're still here. I do not believe I'm talking with dead person. I poke you. No, you're still here.
We spent a whole day out in the woods screaming your name.
Now, why would you do silly thing like that? You know a voice doesn't carry very loud.
How do we know that you're not being attacked by kobolds or gnolls or frozen to death? What if the weather had changed? Look at it outside today. If you'd been out there, you'd be dead. There's no way. You didn't have the tent.
Probably. Maybe.
I remember it wasn't that long ago when we were up north and you were warning me against traveling south in case the weather turned.
Yes. We've grown since then, have we not? If I were betting man, I would bet on self, William.
Bet on self? What do you mean?
I would put money on me coming out on top of day.
What do you mean? Coming out on top of? You mean the weather, or do you mean me?
Oh, either one, but mostly weather was what I meant. William, look. I'm not here to ruin your plans. Your plans were set in stone. You were waiting here. I was simply taking advantage of downtime. I'll be here when it matters, don't worry.
Just see that you keep me informed of what you're doing.
As you wish.
I won't come looking for you again.
I didn't anticipate it.
I'll walk out.
Alright.
I walk past Grimes in the hallway. And say,
Probably like eavesdropping around the corner.
Oh yeah, no. I was gonna say Ferris is 100% eavesdropping here, and he's like waiting behind the door as you walk past.
There's no doors, but you guys can be on either end of the doorway.
Yeah, the doorway is what I mean.
Yeah.
So I mutter something about him needing to learn his place and head back to, I don't know, like smashing my sword against the wall or something.
Yeah, as William leaves, I think Ferris kind of steps out into the courtyard for a second toward Yaramir and says, "Watch your step, Yaramir. We may both be here for our own reasons, but my interests lie with this expedition's, and I'll brook no threat to it."
I am no threat to expedition. Here I am. Here I have made friend to expedition.
Ferris doesn't even like wait for your response. He just turns and walks away after saying
I say
that.
it anyway.
Yeah.
Grimes shakes his head, doesn't say a word to Yaramir.
The
Go on waiting for Zaz.
blizzard passes. The next day after the blizzard is a nice calm day. The storm seems to have, chilled out the weather somewhat. And you guys wake up comfy in your nice warm insides, there's a fire in the fireplace, and it's nice and dark in here, so you can sort of like sleep in. But you're woken to the sound of a whistle.
Oh, it's what's his name? Sweet. I think I take the last watch, right? Or I take the first watch.
Yaramir does last watch.
Okay.
So you do first.
So maybe I'm still asleep. Maybe somebody else spots it
You all
first.
wake up to the whistle, and it's a pretty. You're all fifth level, at least fifth level, so it's not a big deal. You can get up and quickly do your shit. You're not armored right now, but
Yeah, I take temp into my armor. It's leather. It takes a round. That's worth
Is that our whistle? Must be the Knolls.
My armor, my hide, my warmth gear is my armor, except for my chain.
It sounds the same, like roughly the same pitch
shirt.
as our whistles, right?
So-
Totally sounds just like your whistle.
So I say, Faris, come with me, and I run out to the wall and climb up the.
Sure. 1 second. As Ferris is like adjusting his veil to get it into place.
So I head up to
Yaramir
the
and
top of the
Grimes,
wall.
what do you do?
Yeah, I pull on my chain shirt and
William,
my clothes and head.
I think I go about putting my golem back into motion for the day, and then I'll try to write it down I'll try to write it out towards the whistle to look as impressive as possible. But I might end up just falling off right as I get there or something.
Well, give me a dex check.
Once you resolve that.
As
William goes running now, Ferris says, "William, here," and he unties the skull from his belt and says, "I can see better in the dark than you can. Might be better suited to you."
It's dawn, isn't it?
It is dawn.
It was still dark out.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, never mind. Then I'm not even.
Climb up the ladder to the top of the wall and look out over the town. Do I see where the whistle came from?
Yes, you do. So it sounds like Ferris, Grimes, and Kel William have all climbed up onto the wall to see what's going on. Yaramir's coming along. He's a little bit behind you guys because he's enchanting his snowman.
Uh-oh.
When you see at a pretty good distance a lot of gnolls and wolves, and you see one of them standing out front with the javelin in hand, who chucks it towards the wall in a threatening way, but clearly well out of javelin range.
Damn, that is a lot of gnolls.
So
Maybe we shouldn't have invited,
before we even step
Anji.
into game here for a second, this is like the first time I'm seeing this keep battle map, boys, right?
Right. I think we described the keep actually as a palisade wall, but I don't have a palisade wall map.
So this is like a functional intact wall that we're on, right? And then right here is like an open gateway that you walk through.
Right. The gateway has no door.
Okay. But it's about 10 feet wide. So if two people were to block that gateway, theoretically you couldn't fit more than two people into that space at a time.
Correct.
William, come down to the bottom with me now. And Ferris starts to head down, and he's going to move down here to block this entrance so that no more than two gnolls at a time can.
What the fuck is going on?
Grimes is sighting his crossbow and shouting out over the wall. Are they this close by the time we're up here?
So
Tell them we want to talk, Grimes.
I think it's beyond talking.
William, get down here!
Yeah, all right, I go down.
What do you want?
All right, you guys managed to make it down as Yaramir cruises into the courtyard on his snowman.
Why is there no snow?
My maps aren't perfect. Everything is snowy, okay? It's
I
wooden
want to make
wall
sure that
instead of stone wall, and it's all snowy, and these roofs don't exist. They're all badly damaged, but we're just going to approximate with the closest thing that we've got.
Sure. So this is like the gateway that we're blocking right now, right? I want to make sure we move to the right spot because I can't see what it is actually.
Yes, I can actually show you what the layer below that looks like. It's like this.
Cool. Yeah, so we're blocking that, and there's no like doors or anything that they can go in.
No,
Perfect.
there's
Awesome.
And I think maybe as you guys are getting into the doorway, we would roll initiative because the gnolls and the wolves are all coming at a dead charge towards you.
Cool.
But that's gonna have to wait for next week because we are out of time here.
Damn. What the hell? Grimes, why did you threaten them so much?
I told you we shouldn't have let that one live.
I'm a shit talker. I don't know.
I told you.
I think I'm more angry that Yaramir was right about the gnolls coming to fuck us over.
Oh no!
I warned you. I said it. I was like, we need to kill this guy.
Yeah, but you want to kill everyone. Oh my god. Okay. This is quite a lot of gnolls. But we'll hold the line. We'll kill them. It's fine.
These are also the greater gnolls. They're not the northern sissy gnolls.
Yeah, but we have a weapon master in the party. It's okay. I've got my Heron marked blade. They don't stand a chance.
Even if it's only one.
Jesus.
You don't actually have a Heron marked blade though. You just became a master.
I wish.
You gotta go talk to the to the council or something and be like, I need my Heron mark.
Yeah, I need my power wrought sword.
Yeah.
No idea what you guys are talking about. But that's it for today's Frozen Frontier. We might not have a show next week. I might actually be out of town, so we might have to wait 2 weeks for this battle. So hopefully you guys can figure this shit out.
Fair warning, I might not be able to do the weekend of the 19th.
No.
I will let you know.
Can we work out another time to play, like during the week or something?
We'll talk about it. I might be able to do later on next Sunday.
Okay.
I'll be flying back into Colorado on Sunday morning, so we'll see. But that's it for today's Frozen Frontier, everybody.
Discussion thread will be up in about a minute or two here, so keep an eye out for that.
It was an interesting episode.
Yeah.
Despite nothing actually happening. Well,
Yeah.
sort of. I mean, a lot happened, but nothing like main story.
Nothing advanced. I get what you're saying.
A lot of exploration and crafting and coming up with ideas and proving new theories, and pissing off some
inter-party
fucking
relationship building.
gnolls. Yeah.
Team building exercises.
Do we get any experience, Neal?
We'll do it another time. Not right before the Gnoll battle. We'll see you guys on the other
I don't
side
think
of
any of
Burr.
us would level anyways, would we?
No. All right, see ya.
We'll see you guys
See you next
another
week.
day. Bye-bye.